Grown Ups 2 is the highly unanticipated sequel to Grown Ups 1, starring Adam Sandler and his friends Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, and then Nick Swardson, who I guess is replacing Rob Schneider as his new best friend because he's in everything. Uh, Steve Buscemi was in it. Like, Steve, why are you stooping to this level? But anyways, it was really not funny, but I didn't hate it. This movie, however, I can't say that for. Grown Ups 2 follows the story of Adam Sandler, aka Lenny Feder, Kevin James, Chris Rock, and David Spade, as they are all now living in this small town together, and it basically tracks just the events of one single day, which is the last day of school for the kids, and the parents, I guess, don't have jobs, so they're not doing anything. And it's all leading up to a party being hosted at Adam Sandler's house, which is, I guess, supposed to be like a last hurrah or something. I don't know what the motivation was for the party. It's just, everything's very loosely based on that. And you're about to watch a classy movie when the very first scene involves a deer urinating in Adam Sandler's mouth. Just shut your mouth. He was like, just shut it. It's really frustrating. And in that scene, the deer destroys the girl's teddy bear, which then leads to one of the most inappropriate jokes I have ever heard in my life, like an hour later in the movie, but I'll get to that later. So, basically every scene in this movie is just like a 2 or 3 minute long thing, all working towards one punchline, which every single time falls flat, and it's just, I did this most of the movie. I was in this, or just shaking my head, because it's just awful. Every single thing is awful. I don't think they wrote a single scene. They just kind of happened upon places and were like, this would be funny, right, guys? And then they'd be like, yeah, right. And it wasn't. It was just awful. They've all stooped to new lows. All of their careers have been on a steady decline. It can't get much worse. I can't fathom anything being worse than this for them. But I'll try to get back to the main story. So, Adam Sandler and Kevin James and them, they go to this supermarket or whatever, and they meet Shaquille O'Neal's character, who is one of the 5 black people in town. The others are played by Tim Meadows, I'm sorry. Not Tim Robbins, that would be shocking if he was playing one of the black characters. But they all have hair from, like, the sides of their heads. They all wear glasses, and they all say, "What?" And they say it. Every time they're in a scene, they say it like it's a running joke. And it's not funny, even once. And then also Chris Rock's family, who are also black, I forgot about them. Their son also has a running joke where he, like, poops his pants or does a dance or something. Unintentional rhyme. Also not funny, but it happens throughout the entire movie. It's just really frustrating when stuff like this happens. Like, it's like they don't realize it's not funny or entertaining, it's just sad. This movie is sad. It makes me depressed just thinking about the glory days of Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, and how those movies have been shamelessly combined to make Happy Madison, the company that has brought us this atrocity of a film. So anyways, there's a ton of cameo appearances in this, including from John Lovitz, Shaq, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and a bunch of other people, all of Adam Sandler's friends who weren't doing anything. And Taylor Lautner, of course, who plays the most annoying college kid ever. And everything comes to a head at Adam Sandler's party, and Taylor Lautner and his college friends crash it, and it becomes a big brawl fight scene. And they have Steve Austin in a brawling fight scene, and he doesn't dish out one stunner. I don't know what this movie was thinking. They had all of the tools to be funny. They have 4 funny leads. They have a cast of incredibly talented people. And, oh, I have to get back to this wildly inappropriate joke. So during the party, a gay yoga instructor that all of the wives go to is there for some reason. Why wouldn't you invite him? And the little girl has her doll that's like ripped in half, and he sews it back together for her with, I guess, some string he found somewhere. And Adam Sandler's like, "Where did you learn to sew?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm gay." And then he goes on to say, "I learned to sew at gay camp." Gay camp. What if LeBron James was like, "Oh yeah, I learned to play basketball at black camp"? I think people would have a problem with that. It's like, did they think that was going to be funny? What gay person would say that? It's a frustrating movie. It's idiotic. It's awful. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters. I give it a 0.3 out of 10. It is not worth the watch at all. Not even if you are locked in a room for 20 years, and the only things you have with you are a TV, a DVD player, and a DVD copy of Grown Ups 2, just break it in half. Don't torture yourself for 20 years and watch Grown Ups 2. It is awful.